Tasmai namo madhujitangri saroja tattva jnananuraga mahimatisayanta simne Nathaya nathamunayetra paratra chapi nityam yadiya charanau sharanam madiyam. The Puranas, as I said earlier, are records of the history of Bharata Desha. The events that happened in this Bhumi in the past of Bhagavan, related to the Rishis, related to the kings of yore, have all been written down in the Puranas. However, we should not think that the Puranas talk about the past alone. The Puranas are also capable of talking about the future. This is because the people who wrote the Puranas, who was Brahma himself, is capable of seeing the past, present and the future of this world. Great sages like Vedavyasa or Parashara, who wrote Bhagavatam or Vishnu Puranam, are also capable of seeing all three times and all the events that can happen in all those three periods. Therefore, they also wrote about what is to come in the future. You will not believe it, but Puranas like Vishnu Purana or Bhagavata Purana, which were written in Dwapara Yuga, talk about what will happen in Kali Yuga. These are very old texts. However, they are foretelling how people will be in Kali Yuga, how the world will exist, how humanity will progress or devolve, how there will be great souls who are born in this world who will spread the message of Bhakti. Bhagavata Purana says, Kalau khalu bhavishyanti narayana parayanaha kvachit mahabhagaha dramideshu cha bhurishaha tamraparani nadiyatra kritamala payasvini kaveri cha mahabhaga. These verses from Bhagavata Purana foretell the birth or incarnation of the Alvars. It says, in Dramida Desha, in the land where Tamil is spoken, on the banks of holy rivers like Tamraparani, Kaveri and so on, there will be born Mahabhagaha, great souls, Narayana Parayanaha, who are completely devoted to Lord Sriman Narayana, and they will spread the message of Bhakti throughout Tamil Nadu, throughout Bharata and throughout the world also. So these verses from the Puranas are talking about future events. Similarly, there is another foretelling in the Puranas. We today are going to see about that story. We know that the Alvars were born around 5500 years ago. Today, we are in the 5125th year of Kali Yuga. So, Kali Yuga started 5125 years before this. However, the Alvar started taking birth even before that. The Poihe Alvar, Pudattalvar, Pei Alvar, Tirumizhi Alvar took birth at the last end of Dwapara Yuga. All the other Alvars took birth in the first portion of Kali Yuga. So, these Alvars, 12 Alvars who were born when around the time when Kali Yuga started, sang the 4000 Divya Prabandhams. However, the Divya Prabandhams were not continuously in vogue in this world. They were not being learnt or chanted by anybody. They had become lost. But today we are able to learn the Divya Prabandhams. We are able to chant about them. So, there must have been some time when these Divya Prabandhams that were lost were found again by somebody. Suppose I lose some item inside my house. Suppose I lose my specs. I misplace them somewhere in my house. I will be able to search throughout my house, every nook and cranny, and find where I kept my glasses. If suppose I went to a larger auditorium, there were 200 people there. I misplaced some bag in that place. Then if I get 4 or 5 people to help me, I will be able to search and find my bag. Suppose I went to Kumbh Mela or Ratha Yatra in Puri. I misplaced some item. Is it possible for me to search for it and find it? It is next to impossible. Now, if someone or something has been lost in this world completely, then to find it again and to make it popular in this world, you need a very powerful being. That being was Sriman Nathamunihal. Nathamunihal was the first Acharya who got the Divya Prabandhams back from the Alvars and started preaching them in this world. Why are we seeing about this story today? It is because today is the birth anniversary of Nathamunihal. Nathamunihal was born 1200 years ago in 823 AD. Today it is 2023. So exactly 1200 years before today. Today is the Ani month and the Anuradha or Anusha asterism. On the same Ani Anusham, 1200 years ago, the Acharya known as Nathamunihal was born. His name was Ranganatha. But since he was a very great yogi, the name Muni got attached to him. The title Muni was attached to him. So Sri Ranganatha Muni, for short, is known as Nathamuni, Nathamuni. This Nathamunihal was the person who got all the hymns of the Alvars, the Pasurams of the Alvars back from Nammalvar. This is also foretold in one of the Puranas. Tatah kalena mahata vinashtam bhuvi tatkritim nathanama munivaraha yoga jnana davapsyati. The Purana says the works of the Alvars, the Divya Prabandhams, will be lost. Mahata kalena. Since there were around 4000 years after the time of the Alvars, the Divya Prabandhams were lost. The Purana says a person known as Nathamunihal will be born in Kali Yuga, and he, using his yoga abhyasa or yoga jnanam, will get back the 4000 Divya Prabandhams of the Alvars. This is the story that we are going to see about today. The Puranas can talk about great kings of yore. They can be Dasharatha, Aja, Dilipa, Mandhata, etc. Rama, Krishna, Varaha, other incarnations of Vishnu also. However, we cannot perform any of the activities that those kings or those avatars performed. We need a normal human being who we can relate to and we can learn from and try to emulate. Therefore, the stories about our acharyas or great devotees that are there in the Upanishads and the Puranas are very important to us. In fact, they are more important to us than the stories of rishis or kings, wouldn't you say? So today, we will learn about how Nathamunihal got back the Divya Prabandhams in this world. Why should we get back the Divya Prabandhams at all? Because they are the primary source of truth for us today. We can think that the Vedas are the primary sources of truth. However, the Vedas do not concentrate on Mukti alone. The Vedas are enormous. First of all, we can never completely learn the Vedas. Today I can tell you there are 4000 Divya Prabandhams. Nobody can tell you how many Vedas are there, how many shakhas or different variations of the Vedas are there, who has learnt all of them. It is said that Samaveda has 1000 shakhas and Rigveda, Yajurveda all have 20-25 shakhas. Therefore, it is impossible to learn the Vedas completely and then understand what is the essence of the Vedas. Similarly, the Vedas also talk about things that three kinds of people would want. People can be divided into Sattvikas, Rajasas and Tamasas. Those who are adept or have a lot of Sattva Guna are Sattvikas. They would want to attain Mukti. Those who are Rajasas have a lot of Rajoguna. They want to attain wealth. Those who are Tamasas have a lot of Tamoguna. They want to get rid of their enemies, kill people, harm people and so on. The Vedas will prescribe methods that all three of these can follow. Therefore, the problem with the Vedas is that the Vedas cater to all kinds of people. If I read the Vedas, then I can think that the Vedas say I can perform a yajna to kill my enemy. Since the Vedas prescribe this, it must be a very good method. So let me follow it. It is not so. It is a very bad principle. It is a very bad thing to follow those things. However, the Vedas want everybody to be within their fold. Therefore, they talk to each and every kind of person, however, whatever guna he might have. Therefore, the problem with the Vedas is that we who are learning the Vedas are of different types, Sattvika, Rajasa and Tamasa, and therefore, we cannot pick and choose what is best for us. Okay, the Itihasas and Puranas were also written. Why can't they be the primary source of truth? That is because, as I earlier said, the Puranas were themselves written by Brahma when he was high in Sattva-guna or Rajoguna or Tamoguna. So, since the writer or the one who preached the Puranas himself is subject to Rajoguna, Tamoguna and Sattva-guna, again, we cannot completely believe what the Puranas say. We will have to analyze them, see whether there are any contradictions or logical fallacies, and then finally arrive at a conclusion. Okay, next you might think the Rahasya Trayam, Tirumantram, Dvayam and Charama Shlokam that were given by Bhagavan, they are the essence of every required meaning in this world. Once you know the meaning of the Rahasya Trayam, you have learnt everything that you know to attain Mukti. However, the Rahasya Trayam is too small. It hardly has 65 letters all put together. So, it is a lot of information or meaning crammed into a very small mantra or a small verse. Therefore, that also is hard to learn. That is why the Divya Prabandhams are very important. They are in Tamil, they are in simple Tamil, they talk only about Mukti, only about Vairagyam and only about Sriman Narayana. They do not digress, they do not talk about the history of kings and others. So, they are to the point, they are very kind and they preach only what we can practice and what we require. That is why Bhagavan wanted to bring back the Divya Prabandhams into this world. For that, he did Anugraham, he gave his benedictions to Nathamunihal. Nathamunihal was born in Kattumannar It is a small village near Chidambaram in Tamil Nadu. He was born in Kattumannar He was very interested in visiting the shrines of Bhagavan in North India. So, he went on a pilgrimage to Mathura, Brindavan, etc. Then he came back to Kattumannar Once when he was residing there and he was doing service to the Bhagavan, Veera Narayana Perumal in Kattumannar a few Sri Vaishnavas who came from some other place to have darshan of Bhagavan were singing many stotrams about him. Along with stotrams in Sanskrit, they also sang 10 songs in Tamil. Aravamudhe adiye nudalam ninpal anbaye, Neerai alaindu karaya urukkuhinna nedumale. There are 10 songs that Nammalvar has sung about Aravamudan Perumal of Tirukudandai Kumbhakonam. Those Sri Vaishnavas who came to Kattumannar sang those 10 Pashuram's. And in the 11th Pashuram, Alvar says, Kadalhal avaye sharanaha konda kuruhur chadahoban, Kudalin maliyachonna, I, Shatakopa of Tirukkuruhur have sung these 10 songs about Aravamuda Perumal of Kumbhakonam out of the total 1000 songs that I have sung. This is what the last verse, the 11th verse of this Thiruvaimozhi says. So, Nathamunihal listened to these 10 songs, was enamored by them. He wanted to learn all the 1000. Since the verse says these 10 songs out of the total 1000 songs are about Aravamuda Perumal of Kumbhakonam, Nathamunihal asked those Sri Vaishnavas whether they knew all the 1000 songs. They said they know only 10, we don't know how the other 990 can be learnt also, and they went away. But Nathamunihal was very inquisitive, he was excited to learn about the other 990 also. So, he thought about what to do. The Pashuram says, Kuruhur Shadahoban, I Shatakopa, who was born in Tirukkuruhur, Alvar Tirunari, am singing these songs. This is what Alvar says. So, Nathamunihal went from Veeranarayanapuram Kattumannar to Alvar Tirunari down south, and he asked each and every person there whether they knew about these 1000 songs of Alvar. Nobody knew that even 1000 songs existed and they were sung by Alvar. But there was one person called Parankusha Muni, Parankusha Dasar, who knew the 12 songs that were written by Madhurakavi Alvar. Madhurakavi Alvar was the disciple of Nammalvar. This Parankusha Dasar was one of the disciples of Madhurakavi Alvar. So, he said, I know the 12 songs that were sung by Madhurakavi Alvar about Nammalvar. I don't know the songs written by Nammalvar, but the songs about Nammalvar that were composed by my Acharya, I can teach you. You can chant that Kandinun Shirittambu. Those 12 songs are the Kandinun Shirittambu written by Madhurakavi Alvar. If you chant Kandinun Shirittambu 12,000 times in front of Nammalvar in Alvar Tirunahari, then Alvar will come to you. He will give you his darshan and he will tell you or preach to you whatever you want. This was what was told to Nathamunihal. So, Nathamunihal immediately went there, sat down in meditation, completely focused on Alvar and his Tirumeni and his lotus feet. He started chanting Kandinun Shirittambu. He chanted 12,000 times. At the end of it, Alvar came to him as a Manasa Sakshatkara. He did not take birth and come be in front of his eyes. While Nathamunihal was meditating, Alvar appeared in his mind and asked him what he wanted. Nathamunihal said, I want the 1000 songs that you have written. I know 10 Aravamudhe Adiyenudalam. I want all the other songs so that I can learn the whole 1000 songs. This is what Nathamunihal asked of Alvar. However, Alvar replied saying, I have sung 1000 songs known as Thiruvaimudi. You have come to me asking for Thiruvaimudi. Do you know that I have sung 3 other Prabandhams, Thiruviruttam, Thiruvashiriyam and Periya Dirvandadi? Do you not want those Pasurams? Nathamunihal said, oh, I didn't know about their existence at all. Please give me those 3 also in addition to Thiruvaimudi. Then Alvar asked, there were 11 other Alvars also along with me. They have sung another 3000 Pasurams. Do you not want that? Nathamunihal was ecstatic. I thought there were only 1000. You then said there are 3 other Prabandhams that were composed by yourself. Now you are saying there are another 3000 hymns composed in Tamil by other Alvars also. Please give them, all of them to me. Nammalvar also obliged. He preached the 4000 Divya Prabandhams to Nathamunihal. Then he also imparted their meaning to Nathamunihal. He did not stop there. He did Upadesha of Rahasyatrayam also, Tirumantram, Dvayam and Charamashlokam to Nathamunihal along with their meaning. Then he also taught Nathamunihal the Yoga Rahasyam. Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga is the practice of meditating on something with great concentration so that you can enjoy the bliss of Paramatma. Alvar taught this yoga to Nathamunihal also so that he can also enjoy Paramatma through meditation. In addition to this, he also gave Bhavishyad Acharya Vigraham. There was an idol of Swami Ramanuja that was created by Madhurakavi Alvar when he was living here. That idol was given by Nammalvar to Nathamunihal saying, this idol belongs to Ramanuja. He is going to be born another 1200 years after this time. He will be seen by your grandson Alavandar. Nathamunihal's grandson was Alavandar. Alavandar or Yamunacharya was the Acharya of Ramanuja, not directly through Periyanambihal, but Ramanuja was blessed by Alavandar, who was the grandson of Nathamunihal. So Ramanuja, the birth of Ramanuja was foretold in the Puranas itself and by Alvar himself. Therefore, Nammalvar gave this idol of Ramanuja saying, keep this with you. This Acharya is going to be born in the future and he will be the Jagadacharya. So Nathamunihal asked for only 1000 songs. Alvar gave him 4000 songs, Rahasyatrayam, their meaning, Yoga Rahasyam and the Rahasyatrayam along with the Bhavishyad Acharya Vigraha also. Now Nathamunihal got all these 4000 Pasurams. He took the help of 2 people, his nephews, Kizhayahattalvar and Melayahattalvar. Along with them, Nathamunihal was very skilled in music, not human music. Devaganam, the music of the Devas. So he used Devaganam, he put meter, he gave ragas and swaras, everything to Divya Prabandhams and categorized them as Mudalayaram, the first 1000, second 1000, third 1000 and the 4000, and he started preaching the 4000 Divya Prabandhams to everyone and introduced them in temples also and in our households also, so that we will all be very closely connected to the Divya Prabandhams. We will chant them every day. We have a concept of Nitya Anusandhanam. When someone learns the Vedas, there is something called Brahma Yajnam that they have to do. They have to chant one prashna from the Vedas every day in the morning. Similarly, when we learn the Divya Prabandhams, we should chant certain Prabandhams every day. Thiruppallandu of Periyalvar, Thiruppalli Ezhuchi of Thondadipudi Alvar, Thiruppavai of Andal, Amalanadi Piran of Thiruppan Alvar, Kannirun Siruttambu of Madhurakavi Alvar, Ramanujanuttandadi composed by Thiruvarangat Tamudhanar. All these are Nitya Anusandhanam. The Divya Prabandhams must be chanted by us every day. These things were created by and structured by Nathamunihal so that we can all benefit from the divine nectarine hymns and the meanings of the Divya Prabandhams. So today we have learnt about the story of Nathamunihal, his activities which were foretold in the Purana itself. Tatah Karena Magata vinashtam bhuvi tatkritim. The works of the Alvars will be lost in this world. However, Natha Nama Muni Varaha, Natha Munigal, who was a very great ascetic and a yogi, will get back them, find them again and spread them in this world using his yogic wisdom. So, on this day, which is the birth anniversary, Avatara Nakshatram of Natha Munigal, the 1200th Avatara anniversary of Natha Munigal, Ani month Anusha Nakshatram, we will also take a vow that we will also try to learn the Divya Prabandhams, all 4000 if possible, 1000 if possible, 100 if possible, 10 if possible, but whatever we learn, we must chant them each and every day. We can also say, I am able to learn only Kannurun Shiruttambu, but every day I will keep chanting Kannurun Shiruttambu again and again. That will definitely please Bhagavan. Bhagavan did not say that only if you can chant all 4000 from the first hymn to the last hymn without any break or any disruption in between, then you are a bhakta, you can attain mukti. Bhagavan does not say so. He says, learn Divya Prabandhams and keep chanting them. So, we must also try to learn the Divya Prabandhams anywhere where classes are happening around you or even through the internet. Try to join in them and try to learn the Divya Prabandhams first and then their meanings also, so that we can also benefit from the great help or the great aid that was done by Natha Munigal for us.